June 30th. Call this meeting to order. Commissioner Holbrook, please open us in prayer.
Sir. Heavenly Father God, we thank you for this opportunity to serve the people of Boyd County. And as our nation prepares to celebrate the 250th anniversary, we give thanks for the blessings of freedom and the sacrifices that were made so we could have it. Grant us wisdom, grant us integrity and humility and the decisions that come before us today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Let us stand and salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike.
Clerk, will you please call roll?
Judge Cheney.
Here.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Here.
Commissioner Holbrook.
Here.
Commissioner Stapleton.
Here.
All right. Move on to approval of minutes for June 23rd's meeting. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
Sir.
Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton.
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook.
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Next, we'll move to finance section, approval of submitted bills and transfers. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton.
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook.
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Next is the second reading of the budget amendment. This is the budget amendment from May. Is that right?
We approved
Yeah.
it in May, but
This
I
was
just got it
for
back. Yes.
operations line of credit, right? Which we all know why we got that. So operations line of credit, this is the second reading of the budget amendment. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton.
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook.
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Next, we have the second reading of fiscal year 27 budget. We had a few days between the first reading and this reading, and final budget comes to $32,094,999.65. That is a $4 million reduction from the first reading on the 23rd, and that $4 million came from the removal of the Rush Off Road project, which that was $4 million in AML funds that was awarded to the county in the last fiscal year, and it was expended in the last fiscal year, so it could be removed from this budget entirely. So that project is closed out, and that brought the budget down to $32,094,999.65, which is a close to $8 million reduction from last year's budget. So realistically, about $4 million, because of the AML grant was money in, money out. So around $4 million. So pretty proud of that. Told you we was going to cut. Did cut. Trying to get lean. That's what we said we're going to do, and that's what we're doing. Get a motion and a second.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton.
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook.
Yep.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Next on the agenda is reward annual bids. We do this every year. A lot of times we dual award these bids, so we got certain service industries that you have one company that's lower in one regard and maybe another company that's higher in that same line item, but when you go to the next one, company B might be lower and A may be higher. So what we do is we dual award, and we shop for the lowest price, and we go from there. So how we'll do this is we'll read right down the list of bids, and we'll vote on each one that has awards, and I'll announce who they're awarded to. So the animal shelter was no vendors bids were received for this category. Office supplies will be dual awarded to Service Office Supply and Ashland Office Supply. Get a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton.
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook.
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Next will be janitorial supplies. This is All Pro Supply and general sales, both spec and alternates. Get a motion and a second?
So
Sorry,
moved.
Go to the next line.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, you please call roll.
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury,
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Ditching services, Young Construction and Excavating was the only bid we received. We get a motion. Was that the only bid we received? Get a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
Is that local company?
Yep.
That's good. That's awesome.
Any further discussion? Clerk, you please call roll.
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury,
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Next is gravel and aggregates, Mountain Materials, Valley Quarry, Mountain Materials, Brushy Quarry. Get a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury,
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes.
Judge, may I ask something real quick? Did
This
you
is
say
Valley and Brushy, I'm sorry. This is the way I read it, probably. Two of them. Is there three on there?
Yeah. That you. I think
Okay,
you
so
just
you've
explained
got,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
Because I was on the third column, which was the Mountain Valley Quarry. None of those were the lowest bid of any. So that's what I was wondering.
Okay. Next we'll move to asphalt. Did we vote on that? We voted on the last one, didn't we? Okay. Asphalt, Mountain Enterprises and BTI Contracting, Blacktop Industries. Can I get a motion in a second?
so moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Judge, on that one, Mountain is plant-based and BTI was laid-based. So it's two different ones, which is why we're awarding it. So
Okay.
Please explain.
so plant-based is just the material. The laid-based price is what they lay the asphalt for us. So because Mountain doesn't give us a bid on laid, and BTI doesn't give us a bid on plant.
Yeah.
That's weird.
One of them wants to sell it and the other one wants to lay it.
Okay.
You get a motion and a second on that?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Next is fuel, oil, and antifreeze. Be dual awarded to bulk plants and safety clean. Get a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Next is signs and post. This will be Safety Co. and A&A Safety. Get a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury,
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. And last is culvert and pipe. This will be Kentucky Supply. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Is that Kentucky Underground?
Kentucky
From
Supply.
Mount Grayson?
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't know if they changed their name or not. Okay.
Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
All right, next we'll move to the general section, reappoint. Oh, okay, don't let me forget that. Reappoint Tim Woods to East Park Fire Department Board of Trustees. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Next are reappointments for NKEDA, which is Northeast Kentucky Economic Development Authority. It says the terms for 5 members of the Board of Directors for the Northeast Kentucky Economic Development Authority are set to expire at the end of June. We have recommendations from Northeast Economic Development Authority for reappointment. You want to do them individually?
I just read them.
Reappointment of Jim King, Amanda Clark, Dr. Larry Ferguson, Ben Collier, and Jim Smith. You want to do them all, or you want to do them individual?
Do them all. That's fine, all of them.
All of them? All right, get a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury,
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. And for clarity, Jim King is for a 2-year term. Amanda Clark will be for a 2-year term. Larry Ferguson, Dr. Larry Ferguson will be a 2-year term. Ben Collier for a 1-year term, and Jim Smith for a 1-year term. Next is reappointment of Lloyd Lowe and Darrell Bowling to Big Sandy Water District. Can get a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury,
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Next is Boyd County Road Department salt acceptance letter. We do this every year through CACO, Kentucky Association of Counties. They kind of help facilitate salt prices, which is really only very few amount of places to purchase salt. But this bid is for the fiscal court to accept 1,700 tons of road salt from Morton Salt, Inc. at $149.70 a ton. Crazy, ain't it? High.
That's crazy.
I remember, I think it was like 98 just a couple years ago. Maybe 92, actually. The bid was placed. In when? No,
That's a dollar amount.
I was 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I didn't mean in 92.
Well, you know, I'm just returning the favor of you talking about how old I am.
You were
so
definitely alive in 92, I can tell you that.
Did we collaborated interlocal government with this with Ashland? We did not?
What is it, Bill? Nothing? This one?
It's a great shirt, actually.
I'm
It is a
patriotic, Bill. Unlike most of you all people, you know, I'm patriotic. I love my country.
It is a great shirt.
Yeah?
I'll give him
I
that.
love my country.
It is a good shirt. So anyway, 1,700 tons road salt, Morton Salt, at $149.70. Now, we don't have to accept this, right? This is used to, whatever you bid, you had to take 100% of. So you had to budget that number, and you know you was going to expend it. It's not the case now. You take what you need, and you're not punished for not taking all of it. Now, if you get over 1,700 tons, then you run into an issue. But we keep hoping for really light winters, right? And it doesn't seem to happen. So anyway, can I get a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury,
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. You have this under transparency, but we still vote on 4% regulatory, okay. Which, don't let me forget this again. I'm gonna set it there so I don't. Next is 4% regulatory fee for 2027. So a regulatory fee is the 4% fee that we have on alcohol sales in Boyd County. Michelle Culp has done a fantastic job with ABC. She's got it under control. She's on top of it all the time. So thank you very much for all you do. This is another thing, and I'll get into this a little bit here, and I'll probably get into more of this later. But you all have heard me say that there's very, very, very few ways that your local government can increase their revenue. We're not like the state. The state seems to be able to kind of do whatever they need to do to get done. We're very limited, and we only have the authority that's granted to us by not only the Constitution, but by state legislators and what they pass every year in session, right? So we can only operate within the confines of the law in which they give us. They're the umpire. We're just there to play, and sometimes we show up and they don't give us a bat. But anyway, regulatory fee's good. So, of course, we remember back Boyd County was moist and become wet. As far as alcohol sales go, this 4% has put, what's the number? I think it's around $500,000 a year, close to, back into our budget. Now, that can only be expended on certain items, right? So that, of course, takes a salary that we had that was in the general fund and has moved it out to be paid for by ABC. Anyway, it's a good thing. We appreciate you very much. Get a motion and a second. And this is no increase from last year. This is the same rate, 4%.
So
Motion and a
moved.
second.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Okay, so next I need to amend the agenda. What is this, motor vehicle? Is that right? Need to add motor vehicle onto the agenda. Let's vote to add it. Can you get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second. What are we doing?
Adding motor vehicle tax to the agenda. I'm sorry. I'm sitting over here reading it like I've said it all out loud. I haven't said it out loud.
And you
This is the
motioned
county
to second
clerk.
it.
County
I was
clerk's
like,
claim.
what is
This is the county clerk's claim for calculations of motor vehicle and boat bills for 2026. So it's a 15-cent tax, and it looks like $7,900 is what's to be paid by the fiscal court. We set this every year. It's the same thing. Is Kevin here? Kevin's not here. Okay.
We just got a motion to put on the agenda first, though.
Yeah.
We gotta do
Then we
that
can talk
first.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clerk, will you please call roll for addition to the agenda?
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Yes. I
Judge
wasn't
Cheney.
paying attention.
Yes. So as required by KRS, the Department of Revenue hereby certifies that the total number of motor vehicle and boat accounts for this county is 53,022 as of January 1, 2026, which the fiscal court shall pay the county clerk 15 cents for the calculation of tax bill for each account. So it's 15 cents per motor vehicle, and that's what we're setting. Get a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
It's ever raised.
No, it hasn't. I think that's,
I think it's been the same since like the 50s.
Yeah.
I think it's in statute.
Long
Ain't it?
Been a long time.
Yet again, in statute. Clerk, you please call roll.
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. All right, next we have community development update. Casey.
All right, so we have Fun and Sun. Okay. All right, so we have Fun in the Sun coming up on July 17th. It's a Friday at the old football field. This is taking place of Longest Day of Play. If you've been to that before, it's going to start at 6 p.m. is when we're going to kick things off. Our movie will be at 9, so we'll be there until probably around 11. The library brings a big inflatable movie screen. We're going to watch Nemo. We'll have candy and popcorn for free and all that good stuff for the movie part. But during the regular event at 6, we're going to have a foam party, inflatables. Face Painting by Faith is going to be doing glitter tattoos instead of face painting since it's all water-based. Peanut the Clown will be doing balloon animals. We're going to have free food, crafts, Kona Ice, all that stuff. But the foam party is a big hit. We have a DJ. He plays music, and it's like a big bubble pit on the football field. So it's a lot of fun. Thank you to all of our sponsors that donate for that. That way we can do it for free for the community. So there's no cost to come. So come hang out with us, watch a movie, and play in some foam. So that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
You.
All right, next we will move on to community comment. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good.
I was just wondering if you had heard back from Tara Wolf about any of the questions that the community asked during that last meeting at the high school. Have they responded to any of the questions?
Yeah, did anybody submit like written questions looking for answers, or?
I don't know that anybody submitted written questions, but everybody asked a lot of questions, and they were like, "Well, we'll look into that. We'll get back to you."
I don't even remember really what all those. I know there was a lot of questions.
Yeah,
that
there were a
took
lot of
place
people
there.
asked questions. I don't know. But, do we know another time? They said we would have more meetings.
Yeah, so I don't know the next date that they're going to have, but it will be. I would assume it'll be next month.
I read something somewhere that said it once every quarter or
Once
something.
a quarter. Okay.
So I don't know. Can you ask them
I will,
when they intend to
absolutely.
meet with
I'll
the
make a note
community
right now.
again?
Now we did go there. We went to Buffalo, New York. Went up there to see a Tara Wolf data center. It was a perfect place for them to pick, and the reason for that was they have the exact data center building that we're going to get. It's almost 100% complete. They have one that is operational, and then they have one that is under total construction. The shell of the building's up. But they also have Bitcoin mining up there. They have two of them. We walked in to what I thought was the administrative building, and we sat there in a conference room, and of course we had a conversation. They went through their spiel, and then one of the questions that come up, they asked if we had any questions before we went on a tour, and one of the questions was, it was Greenup County Commissioner actually asked it, said, you know, we understand a lot of kind of what's going on here, but noise is a big concern. It's a big question that we didn't have answers to because we haven't been there. And the guy said, you see this wall right here? I said, yeah. He said, the active data center is right on the other side of it. So when we walked in, they had a hard hat, safety glasses, and a safety vest, no earplugs, which would be 85 decibels or higher. And I remember when we went to turn into the facility out on the main road, we rolled the windows down at the stoplight to see if we could hear any type of humming whatsoever, and we could not. 55 decibels was the highest that we picked up around equipment itself. All the equipment, like the pumps and stuff, are inside the building. So the sound issue, I was pretty impressed with. Now let me tell you what is.
Is it a hyperscale or was it?
It's going to be a hyperscale. I think it's 750 or going to be a gig, one of the two. But it's the same. Those buildings are about 400,000 square feet. Same design that we're going to get here.
Were they running generators or are they already into the grid?
Nope. They don't have.
No generators.
The only generators that they have, they're not a one-for-one company, which they talked about that, meaning they don't. If the power goes out, one-for-one means if the power goes out, that they would have enough generators on site to run the entire facility. TerraWolf doesn't do that. The only generators that they have on site are the generators for the coolant or the coolant water pumps, and that's if they lose electricity, they've got 15 minutes of battery backup to be able to get the servers into a safe state, and the generators run the coolant water pumps in that time to disperse the heat. And once the heat's dispersed, if the grid's still offline, the generators shut down. So a lot of these places that we're hearing this massive, massive sound and noise from are running generators. Even when the power's out, they're running enough diesel or natural gas generators to power the entire place. TerraWolf does not do that.
So are they going to have the transformers by the time they bring these online?
I don't know the answer to that.
They didn't either.
When you say transformers, what are you talking about transformers?
So the transformers and the step-down equipment that goes from the power line to the facility, it's a 3 to 5 year wait list on it.
Oh, so you're saying they'd start up on generator? Is that what you're getting? No, they don't have generators on site. I mean, now during construction, of course, they got like light plants and stuff like that, right? That's around there.
Right, but
they're not coming up on generators.
In order to get these online by 2030 and take advantage of the tax breaks, according to the big beautiful bill, they have to be online by 2030 by any means necessary. So that's why I asked them at the meeting, have they procured transformers for this facility? And they just kind of looked at me.
Yeah, well,
Kentucky Power question.
So
I can't answer that question.
Transformers are where the power come in, and they got these big transfer stations that transfers the power to the buildings.
Yes, they're back ordered 3 to 5 years according to Bloomberg.
But I don't know that.
I don't know. I
don't
don't know
know that.
anything about that, but they're building their own there, and they're huge.
Okay, well, the other question I had is the water. So I read in the newspaper
It's fine. Let it go. Turned off.
that there was going to be a 1.5 million gallon per day pipeline put in that TerraWolf would pay for. Now, my question is, they keep saying that they're going to use 5,000 to 9,000 gallons a day. So why are we allowing them to put in a 1.5 million gallon a day line? Why
how
aren't
much-
they being restricted? And is that coming from the
So
city of
that
Ashland?
would be, that's Ashland City Water. That's,
Okay, because I went over there today and they acted like they didn't have any like idea.
no, we
that-
don't, I mean, we don't have any, Boyd County doesn't have, we have like Big Sandy Water and Cannonsburg Water, which we appoint members to the board of, but we don't, it's nothing that's in our budget or budgetary item for any plan. So any conversations with water, Well, I haven't been in those conversations. As
But I
far
mean,
as,
is that City of Ashland? Because
yeah, that's City of Ashland Water supplying it.
Okay, they acted like I had stepped down from Mars when I stopped in there today. So I just wanted to make sure I was
Yeah, no, that'd
going
be
to the right place.
right.
Okay.
Which they talked about the misting system. You remember them talking about the misting system?
They do, but there's questions about that misting system that they did not address. So they gave a certain temperature that it clicks on. Now today it's a million degrees on the
Million
face of the
degrees out
sun out there. So and these plants generate a lot of heat. So at what point does the misting system kick on, and at what point does it kick off? And they never answered those questions.
Yeah, I can't remember the degrees in which they.
When it comes,
94.
when it comes to the heat, we were standing outside beside a cooling tower with fans running.
Closed loop cooling tower.
It's a closed loop system with the fans running, and the guy was talking to us. We could hear him with the fans running, no problem. And I'm standing 3 feet from this cooling tower. Temperature didn't change. The air that was hitting me was not hot.
I have
I'm
been
just saying, I was
researching
standing
data
there
centers all over the
where they
United
blow
States.
and
I would
cool
love
the
to know.
water,
I would
and I
love to
was
know
not
what
getting-
equipment they're using that's
I did
different
not get any hotter
from all these
than
other
I
data
was standing
centers.
there.
Well, and that's the thing.
It did not heat me up. Yes, they were blowing up, but no, but what I'm saying is, I stuck my head inside there. Okay, they opened the door up on the end of it. I stuck my head inside there, and there was no heat where the fans were drawing.
It's just like, it's a giant radiator like your
It's
car.
not
That's
a-
exactly
it's
how it
not-
operates.
It wasn't as hot as an automobile.
Here's what I
I'm
can't
telling
do.
you.
I think you and I have talked a lot over the past month, right?
That's good.
What I can't do is I can't speak for any other data center.
Hey, it's a cooling tower.
Right.
There's nothing in there to hurt you. You gotta let me do it.
Anyway, but
I've never been to one.
I want to check
Wasn't
in with
any
you after
danger.
the meeting. I have something for you.
You're fine. Yeah, come on. You're good.
Well, no.
Oh, okay. Are you?
Somebody else has to talk.
We got time. We got time. You're good. Okay.
I just want to make sure I had the right water entity. So,
Yeah.
but I am curious to know what they are using differently, because other places that use cool loop, they're still using millions of gallons. They're stealing water, all this stuff. Like, how is this going to be different? The same thing with the hum and everything.
I can tell you
guess
what
the-
I've
like
seen.
The generators is
You
going
know,
to be.
I can tell you what I've seen there. And industry is something that makes sense to me, right? I mean, I work at Marathon. Everybody knows I work at Marathon. I'm around the industry every day. So, I mean, I see pipes, pumps, cooling towers. All that's familiar to me. So I can tell you what I've seen there, and I've been there. I haven't been to these other data centers. How they're different, I don't know. I can tell you that 55 decibels is what we got. I can tell you that they don't have earplugs on site. And I can tell you that Bitcoin mining is pretty loud,
It was pretty loud.
and it's very loud.
This was a hyperscale.
This was I believe at the
Raw
finish,
salt.
I have to ask Hunter, but I believe 750 when it's finished, or 1 gig, one of the two, right? 750 or 1 gig when it's finished. But we sat in that conference room.
But again, there's a difference in the degree of the data center. So this was
But
a
the
hyperscale.
equipment wouldn't change. So it wouldn't. So the way that it works is you've got data halls inside the data center, right? So each one of them is kind of confined to its own place, whatever the end user may be for that hall. So the
You mean like a
building's
hallway?
no, like a hall, like a ballroom. You know what I mean? Like a room, just a
Okay.
big room, a hall. You have 4 of them in there, and they all have their own equipment. They were running. They're operational. Right behind that, it was a block wall, but it was right on the other side of where we were sitting in that conference room. I can't speak for other data centers, and I've heard the same thing. And trust me, there's every video that's online is in my inbox on Facebook. I'm 99% sure. So I have seen these. I've seen where they've, had the camera out on their front porch and right through the woods, right on the other side. It's unbearable. Unbearable. I have seen that. But I've seen that on Facebook, right? I've never seen that in person. I can tell you how TerraWolf operates. I can tell you what I did see with my own eyes and what I did hear. They don't even have, like I said, there's no earplugs they even have on site. The loudest place that we was that day, the loudest place was the construction site. And if you've ever flown in an airplane, it's a whole lot louder inside that cabin than it is at that data center.
The loudest thing I heard the whole weekend was the airplane. Loudest thing. They opened the door going into the data where the computers are at. You look in there, and they didn't let us go in, but they let us look, and you could hear them running.
You could hear them, absolutely.
You could hear them, and it was way, way lower than the airplane. I had to take my hearing aids out on the
I know,
airplane.
I know.
Because it hurt my ears. That didn't
I know what
bother
you're
me
thinking.
at all.
I know, I get it, because everything that you see online, everything I look up online too, right? That's where we have, we
I just want to know, were they running the facility at like a third of its power that day for your visit? I'm just kidding.
if they're going to turn down billions of dollars for us that came there, then that would be a terrible business decision. I really, really doubt it.
Well, if I may suggest, the next meeting, they need to have better AV equipment,
That was
a
my
better
fault.
auditorium,
Hey, I claim
and
full
they
responsibility for
need
that.
to provide the public with a video of what you saw,
So they have.
so we can see it.
So I asked them that. I said, it'd be nice if it's online. They said, we have videos online, but nobody believes them. They said, we have videos. He said that exact words.
I
He
haven't
said,
found the videos. So
We have-
if you want to send me the links.
I haven't looked at them, but I will. When I find them, I'll send them to you. But he said, we put them online. He said, in all the comments, they say they've edited this video, that this sound is incorrect. I mean, it's, it's kind of one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't type situations, right? I mean, they can put it out there, but we don't have to believe it. And I know what you're saying, and that's why I'm laughing, because I've been online, I've saw these videos, me and you've talked about it.
Okay, then we'll move on to the electricity and the water next.
Okay.
The
Any
question-
comment?
Yeah, the questions that were asked were written down by Suzanne Griffith, and she has a copy of them, is going to.
Fantastic.
Flat-
Get them to me, and we'll send them to Terrawolf. And they did respond when we sent them written questions
Well,
before.
they
I think she told me they answered all of her
They
questions.
What is it,
but
Hunter?
one.
She has.
Oh, they've already answered all the
They've already
questions.
answered
Okay.
all of hers, yes.
Okay, perfect.
They answered all of her questions except one, and that was for the power company.
So each person that asked the question at that meeting would have to write to them to get their questions answered? Or can one person just sit and watch the video, write down all the questions and send it to them?
I mean, I would say either way you want to do it. I'd say if one
I
person
think
wanted
if
to
you
take
put
lead
your
on it.
email address down, they was gonna email you the answers. If you put your email address down for them.
We all wrote our contact information down and gave it to the
Yeah. But I don't know who wrote the questions down. I mean,
Well, but the thing is, it's
Well, I
online.
think they can probably go back and watch it.
Yeah. Either way, the questions, yeah, no kidding. And again, that was my fault. I claim full responsibility. They told me there was 2,000 people coming, and I was having protesters from the interstate to the high school entrance of the front door. So I said, hey, well, we're not going to do this at the community center and only have 700 people in there. I want to do this somewhere where if the people have something, they can come in, and we've got 2,000 seats there. And I think we had 215 people that showed up. So, but that's why it was there, and that was my fault. That was my suggestion, just to make sure we could get the amount of people in there. So I claim full responsibility for that one.
One of the other things that I observed while I was in there was a control room with computers on the screen, and they got a guy sitting there at a desk with computers in front of him, and he's controlling, watching all the flow of the water.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. I mean, he's right there.
So that's how we
They
figured.
got manual switches, and then they have 4 guys out in the areas where the
Operators, they got operators out there.
it's like an operator where they got the valves if they have a breach of the water, they got valves with backup lines that they can divert the water to and shut it off so it's not leaking here and it's going somewhere else and still going through the system. Everything had a backup. Every pump had a backup pump.
They had redundancies everywhere. It really was amazing.
It really was amazing to see how it all worked.
So we couldn't, remember the conversations come up too about jobs. We're just going to throw all this out there.
Jobs
My
is
mind.
cool.
A lot of people think there's not a lot of jobs at data centers, and I've seen that online too. Hey, you're going to have 1,000 people build this thing, and you're going to have 6 people that work there, right? I mean, we've all seen that. But when you realize the size of the operation from the cooling water alone perspective, and the instrumentation, the flow meters, the TIs, everything that's in there, it takes a little army to run it. So, I mean, they're 24-hour operation. They got operators and control board operators and 4 men per crew and, 250
Run 3
people.
shifts. So they run 3 shifts. So, I mean, you got some, I don't know how many employees they had running that one building, but they have 3 shifts. So there's so many there during the day, so many at midnight, so many evening time,
Can you come up? I'm sorry, we just want to use the microphone so everybody online can hear. You know what I mean?
Did you guys happen to talk to anybody in the communities around that data center?
Not while we was out and about, no.
We made a very quick trip. We flew up, stayed one night, and flew home the same day we looked at it.
I do know that I talked to the judge executive in Hancock County, and I think he made contact with the mayor up there, and the mayor said the same thing. The mayor said, at first, pretty skeptical, right? I mean, the whole world is skeptical of these things. I was skeptical of these things. He said, but the mayor told him, he said, now, knowing the operation that they run, I'd take 10 of them.
The other question that one young lady asked at the TerraWolf meeting, which I have a question for you, is this part of something you would do, is what's called a decommissioning escrow, which means they would put money aside up front for the decommissioning. And the reason I ask is a lot of tech company or, tech reporting company, like news articles, they say the technology is going to be kaput, like outdated in 3 years. So if for some reason they don't finish or they don't stay, is there a decommissioning? Because decommissioning one of these is very expensive because of the chemicals. I did some kind of calculator based on maybe it has this many
I'm not sure
servers.
what kind of chemicals you're talking about.
There's more than food grade glycol in those closed loops. Everywhere I've looked, there are forever chemicals.
What they told us was in it.
That's what they're telling everybody is in it. But I cannot find a closed loop system anywhere in my research that does not run.
It's new.
Again, I would like TerraWolf to tell me what they are doing differently. I want to believe them that they're being up and up, but these are people that are going to make billions, possibly trillions off of the stuff that they sell. And I'm just like, okay, prove that you're not going to destroy the community in the process and hightail it out of here and leave us with something that we have to, because you have to take all that away. And then you have to redo the ground so it doesn't hurt the area. There is a actual speciality that is associated with these, which is a decommissioning escrow. And places are asking for it. Half of the projects that were slated to finish in 2026 in this country are not being finished because they don't have the transformers, they don't have the step-down equipment, they don't have community support, they can't get what they need to build it, and they're leaving projects half done or not done at all. So
Job on that. I gotta get on here and end the conspiracy theory real quick. We good? We live?
Point
We
on the
back?
missing person.
We're live.
Okay. Okay.
All right, hold on one second. Let me clarify this for everybody that's watching, because I know there's probably 9 million conspiracy theories going around right now. We've been talking about it. For the first time in 8 years, we lost audio, okay? So nothing's transpired in the meantime. We haven't asked questions. We're waiting to get the audio fixed, and I believe we are back in action. So clarify that. Anyway, sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
and then there was one question from my own notes. I'll ask it again and then just confirm the names I got.
Yes.
So one of the things I wanted to know was who the current members or directors, like for the board, are for the Northeast Kentucky Regional Industrial Authority. The names I got were for Boyd County is Hunter Boyd, for Lawrence County, David Michael, for Elliott County, Alan Gillum, Carter County, Marion Atkins, and then for this rotation for Greenup County, since they're one of the 2 largest counties, it is Joe Dillo and Jeff Ellswick. Is that correct?
Correct.
For those names? Okay. So the reason I wanted to know those names is because I wanted to know who to contact and who would be the current governing body for East Park. Because some of you, we've had email correspondence where I've been like asking questions, sending you this KRS thing, this from KRC, all of the different research. And something we had talked about was a moratorium, the hopes for a moratorium for the community, just so that we can wait to get all of the information that we can before we commit, right? This is the pre-engagement. We don't want to be married to something that we can't get rid of. That's going to be, do more harm than good. And there are a lot of communities right now that are doing moratoriums, like City of Ashland is in talks to do it. I think they're in there.
They're in
There's
theirs.
now, Russell is, we went to the meeting last week for Russell, and they're in their 180-day moratorium because of worries about the old, like, Armco Steel property becoming a data center right there next to the city and beside the river.
Which, to clarify, a moratorium doesn't stop development.
It is a pause.
It is a
Correct.
pause.
Yes, 180 days
Yes.
for that. Yeah, and that's what they're doing, like, because we talked to the mayor of Russell the other day, and he said they're doing a 180-day moratorium. And at that point, they were 1 week into it of that 180 days. So is that something that is still on the table for the county to do?
That is something that is in the works with all 5 counties.
Okay.
Now,
Is
it
that-
will be a moratorium that does not include East Park. It will be a moratorium outside of East Park.
Okay.
So, I think you and I have had this
My
conversation.
own separate East Park questions post what happens for the county, too.
Yes. Now, this moratorium, what we're wanting to do is work with the other counties, all 5 of them, and create a attempting to create a moratorium that is the exact same language for all 5 of us. Now, this will exclude East Park. This will exclude East Park 100%. TerraWolf has purchased that property. That project will be moving forward. But we are in discussion to do that as of early as next week. I'm trying to get all 5 counties to agree to do this. Now, here's the problem. It's up in the air if any county in the state of Kentucky has the authority granted to them by the state to be able to even implement a moratorium. Our advice from Kentucky Association of Counties is this is the first time, as a 29-year attorney there, and it's the first time in 29 years he has to look at his judges in his fiscal court with no answer. And the reason for that is very simple. This is what a lot of people don't know. 2025, Kentucky State House and the Senate. 2025, the state of Kentucky passed a data center incentive package plan to relocate or to locate data centers to the state of Kentucky. The tax incentive associated with that was sales tax. In 2026, the state of Kentucky, the House, introduced a bill that had regulations behind data centers, which would have granted some authority to fiscal courts across the state, and the state would have had limitations on it. That bill never got out of the Senate, never left. So that bill didn't pass. So what we have is a state incentive package plan that the state put together, state representatives, and state senators, but they didn't pass the regulations on the tail end of it. So what they've done to 120 counties, 120 judges, they've brought us to home plate with no bat, and the bases are loaded. And there's no way to defend ourselves. None. That's granted to us by the state of Kentucky, which is where we get our authority in the governmental code through DLG, Department of Local Government. We don't have anything. So my problem is that at the same time, I'm going to turn that back around and say, but the state representatives, they can send me an open records request wanting to know all communications that we've had with Tara Wolf and whatever else it may be, but I don't see them taking any ownership and saying, yeah, we passed that data center incentive package plan in 2025, but we just happen to not be able to get the regulations through in 2026.
But you are allowed as a county body to make zoning and planning committees.
Which
That
would,
is
I
within
can
your
assure
powers.
you, there is nobody in this county that lives, now you may want it.
And it doesn't have to be like a Wild West
You
situation.
can't have planning without zoning in the state of Kentucky. That's the problem. So the very first farmer that walks in here and says, I'm not making any money on my crops anymore, I would like to develop a subdivision in my field, and we have to tell them no because that's zoned for agriculture, it's not going to sit real well in southern Boyd County. I went to a meeting, me and Judge Elliott County, when I had just took office, it's 2019 or 2020. We went to a meeting in Moorhead on planning and zoning because I wanted to learn more information about it. And Kentucky has one of the best, I think it was passed in 2003, one of the best planning and zoning models in the nation. We went to this meeting and we sat in there, and by 9:30 we got it marked out. There was one county that they had they gave a prime example of how drastic this can be. A gentleman built a deck on the back of his house. Next day he woke up, he went to work. He come home from work and that deck was removed from his house. He filed a lawsuit and lost that lawsuit because he didn't get the permitting required to build that deck. Now, in city limits, cities can do whatever they want. That's fine. They want to have planning and zoning inside the city of Ashland, they can do it. Southern Boyd County and most of the people, most of the residents, in terms of a data center, I understand it completely, but all you're doing is you're zoning the land, which means it still doesn't stop the sale of private land from a private individual to a private company. Now, a moratorium, what that's going to do is just, we can put a pause on this to where we can have further discussion. The issue is we don't have the authority, may not have the authority by the state of Kentucky to even pass that moratorium.
In the moratorium, wouldn't that, something that we talked about was like getting this tied up in courts, which might buy us the 180 days if it slows them down enough that they're like, oh, is this worth suing over? To wait 180 days. For some of them, if they want to get this 1 gigawatt data center open by 2030 so they can get the incentives and stuff from the big beautiful bill, which give cuts and breaks to data centers, that might be worth it to them. But for some of them, maybe they'll just wait to start developing and give us that tiny window so that we can get the best, most recent research. And then for groups like the KRC that are working on building the language for these different ordinances, the thing that they're working on right now is the one for unincorporated land. So if we have a moratorium for 180 days, put a pause on it, even if it's a 180 days pause that we're going to have to fight for, it might buy us that time so that they can finish writing.
Absolutely, which we're working on that.
Yeah.
But that will not affect the project in East Park. This will be
For what I
outside
have here, it might.
East Park.
Because East Park, the reason I was asking Hunter who the members of the directors board were for East Park is because when East Park was founded, it was founded with protective covenants, like a homeowners association agreement. And in the protective covenants, which is available online, and the reason I wanted official copies to request instead of just the online available ones, so that they had a little more legitimacy. In the language of the document, it has, in Article 3, it says permitted and prohibited uses of property in East Park. And 3.03 says general prohibited uses, no operation or use shall be permitted or maintained which causes or produces any of the following effects discernible outside of the building located on the site or affecting any adjacent property. And the first one it mentions is noise or sound that is objectionable because of its volume, duration, beat, frequency, or shrillness. Smoke, noxious, toxic, or corrosive fumes or gases, obnoxious odors, dust, dirt, fly, ash, unusual fire, or explosive hazards. And then in Part B, right after it, and this is the last thing I'll read from this, it says, no part of the property shall be used for any purpose that contaminates the soil, water, or air of any of the property in the industrial park, including the particular site or lot owned by the industrial user, nor shall any of the property be used for any purpose that contaminates the soil, water, or air of any other landowners, operations, or processes which violate any federal, state, or local environmental laws or regulations will not be permitted.
Absolutely. So noise is the first one on the list, which we just discussed that with the highest decibel reading of 55, which is 30 decibels below standard issue earplugs, right, to have earplugs or ear protection. There's no smokestacks here. This isn't a refinery. This isn't AK Steel. So there's no stacks that would be putting any pollutants out in terms of whether they have a flare system or whatever the terms may be. No dirt, dust, or debris. They don't move dirt. They're not doing anything. Contaminating the soil I think the closest thing to that would be in a cooling water, because it's the only thing that's actually moving, which is even better in this regard because it is a closed loop system instead of an open loop that's pulling off the system. Open loop having blowdowns. With no blowdowns, we're covered under contaminating soil. And then other land, I would assume in that we'd be talking about runoff, which runoff would be displaced water from, instead of being soaked into the ground, would be from the roofs, right, in the parking lots and parking spaces. And all that is clearly defined on how you do that by state Kentucky law, on how you handle runoff situations, and if they need to move something, they'll move it, and all that is pre-engineered and approved, and the state approves the plans for this before they can move forward. So based off what I seen TerraWolf is, when I was in Buffalo, inside of this data center, looking at it, none of those, I don't see any of those that would check. Now, could East Park have said, we're not going to sell you the land? Yeah, East Park could probably have done that. They absolutely could. But East Park did not do that. So I don't...
If this becomes an issue like we have seen, because it's the precedent, right? Like TerraWolf wanted to be a better version of what data centers are.
Right.
They wanted to correct problems that they saw, but we also see data centers across the country as the standard, violating pretty much all of those. Where ones in Columbus was what, it was over 24-hour fire response from fires from the heat that gets generated. You know, there have been water shortages around the country. One, there was like a medical storage facility that burnt to the ground. And like people in comments were like, oh, the data center. And we were like, how's that connected? How's that connected? But the data center had pulled so much water that fire and rescue could not put the fire out.
Right. And even at 1.6 million, to touch on this though, let's just go back to even at 1.6 million gallons per day. Is that what was in the Ashland? 1.5. All right, so let's say it's 1.5 million. Let's say they crank it wide open. For what? I have no idea. Say it's 1.5 million. Ashland has a capacity of 12 million a day left. That's extra. So even at 1.5 million a day, which they're not going to pull in any circumstance that I could see, there's still unbelievable amounts of room in Ashland City water capacity. And they're going through an upgrade project as we speak. So I don't think that we're hitting the limits of maybe what other areas have hit. And I talked about this a little bit with electric too. When you look back at these areas where you have massive increase of electricity, you find that a lot of those areas, I would say 90% of them, already have 90 to 95% full capacity on their local grids, right? We don't have that. We used to. We used to be pretty close, you know, because we had all this industry that stretched. We have plenty of room on our grid. Now, the question is, what about data center? I'm fine with TerraWolf. I support them. I support this project. What about data center 2, 3, and 4? What about the data centers that come in and purchase private land, that there is no seat at the table, that we're all in this conversation together, that's not TerraWolf, that doesn't have a facility and operate the way TerraWolf operates? What happens then? So this is where I go back to, I asked the state to give us some ammunition to be able to defend ourselves, defend Boyd County, and to be able to have something that this fiscal court can legally stand on and pass. You are 100% right that we could pass a moratorium, which we're working on. We could pass that moratorium, we could get sued, and we could go to court for however long. You're right on that. But I want that the county judges and the fiscal courts across this state to have the authority given to them by the state of Kentucky to be able to protect themselves. Now, planning and zoning only goes so far. So I think you and I, we've talked a lot, and I feel like there's a lot of areas that we're on the same page on.
I would rather have the moratorium and an ordinance than for any individual to have to file litigation and be out $15,000+ for a lawyer to get a judge to file an injunction and say that this project is not going to happen.
And that's why you have our county attorney and Greenup County attorney working together to make sure that we can put together a moratorium that is outside of East Park to protect, to see what we can do for if there is future projects looking in Boyd County. We are working on that. I'm not telling you that we're not going to do a moratorium. I'm telling you that we're actively working on it.
Thank you.
I have not. Judge Hall has been. Yeah, I plan to go. I wouldn't mind to go down there. Judge Roberts, he's a good guy.
We can start a visit all of the data centers club, and we'll just mark them off like when you collected
Yeah.
quarters as a kid.
You're gonna be in a bunch of them.
All right, I think that's really all I needed, and then I can go forward with this. I just wanted to, because like I took the protective covenants, which I think are typically called restrictive covenants, but that's a specific name that they gave these back in like 99, 2000. But I've had this in front of, I think, 3 different lawyers to make sure that it could, have legal grounds for litigation or prevention of building, stopping processes after they're started, because it's, in my mind, this is a better safe than sorry situation.
I'm not saying it doesn't have legal precedence.
Yeah.
It will take a lawsuit to find out. And
Yeah.
here's the other deal. I mean, call it for what it is.
$15,000, my friend.
But-
One of them already gave me a quote.
You may have.
Don't want to have to do that.
No, I understand, right? So, I mean, we're looking at this, okay? Here's the deal. At the end of the day, you put in a moratorium, you get sued. Then it goes to, I'm going to call him a real judge because I'm not, goes to a real judge, right? They got to look at it. And they got to see what's going on nationwide. Data centers are moving in everywhere. They got to make decisions, right?
Right, and the majority of data centers do not function the way that the terrible facility that you saw functions. They're probably less than 1% of facilities that
I
you
don't know.
can't hear.
I can't say
don't
that.
pollute
I can't
water.
say it
No,
because
because I haven't
I'll say
seen
this.
any of
I'll
that
say
yet.
that I've seen the Bitcoin. I understand the Bitcoin. I understand why Bitcoin's probably an issue. Okay. I also understand why TeraWolf's getting out of that game and they're going straight into just data center only, right? And I really appreciate that. So I've seen that part of bad, but what I don't know is the same thing, right? Like, I don't know how many of these videos that's sent to me and kind of flipping the roles, right? How many of those are enhanced? How many of those are whatever they may be? I've never been to another data center.
Yeah,
Never
all
have.
of the
And I'm
research
sure
that
there
I
are
have
bad
done
ones.
for data centers isn't about the average person's firsthand experience. It's not anecdotal. Anything that I present or that I use to frame my opinion or that I give for reference is coming from our own government. So from the EPA, the EIA, FEMA, that is where I'm getting, because
Which are the
right,
agencies?
like it has to be something that is peer reviewed.
That's
which,
right.
as a scientist, it's my job to recognize and put that out in the world. So anything that I'm using as reference isn't like something that I got off of Facebook. It is from scientists and researchers.
I
and
have no
professionals
doubt. I've
and-
talked to you enough. I have no doubt that's true. You're extremely passionate about what you do. You're extremely intelligent. You do your
Give
research.
us a moratorium, and then you won't see me for a minute.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, it gives us
working on
some time, and we're working on that. We're working on that. Now, I mean, you brought up a good point. I mean, the EPA, yeah, absolutely, but they have to. That's stringent, right? I mean, like that's tight tolerances there. There's certain things you can't do,
Yeah.
and they have to fall underneath of that.
Yeah, I think they were one of the first ones to publish an article about like the dangers of data centers in 2024 and their concerns about their impact on the environment. But a lot of legislation was making it easier for data centers to go in regardless of if they affected the environment. And then a lot of the consequences for polluting the soil, someone's water source, whatever, is fines and fees. And if you're backed by a $10, $14 or $1 trillion company like BlackRock,
Big company, yeah.
that doesn't mean anything. That's a slap on the wrist. You're just going to keep chugging, right? And so that's my worry is if we have something like that come into this community and they aren't as trustworthy as they seem, regular people can't afford to sue them. We have been deemed a sacrifice zone is because we are a throwaway zone to a lot of other regions in America, that we don't matter. We are the area where they want to put industry and they don't worry about us because we're dumb hicks and they make assumptions about us and all these
I don't
other
know about
things.
that.
Well,
That is
I just
that
got
is a
back from
well
South
published
Carolina.
It's an
thing.
assumption. It's an assumption, right?
Oh yeah. Oh,
It
I know that
absolutely
they're
is an
wrong.
assumption.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's stereotyping, right? But that is something that we have been deemed, and that is kind of spread throughout industry. Is certain regions that you pick because they can't stop you, right? Like, we have legislators that you've seen yourself, and you said yourself today, that are writing laws that take power away from the people, and the kind of benefit we're seeing going to the corporations, not their own constituents. So that's kind of concerning. And we're seeing that at the state and federal level.
Yeah,
So
well, and
hopefully
I'm not going to
local is our
defend them,
last
because
ditch.
I am pretty
Yeah.
upset with the state of Kentucky, and I think I have a long list of reasons why we should be upset with the state of Kentucky. And it's not a Republican-Democrat thing. It's a Kentucky thing. This is a
Yeah.
problem. But I don't, so I mean, you've got two ways that you can increase revenue in your local government, right? You can raise taxes, or you can invest in economic development, okay? That's it. The same thing, the same principle applies to the power company. If they don't invest in economic development, whatever that may be, it's going to be this, they're going to have to, their rates are going to go up. They've been going up for the past 50 years. They may be at a higher percentage and rate now than what they were in the past, but that's just how it goes every year.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, if the state of Kentucky, they are the umpire to our daily operation every day. If they don't give the fiscal courts authority to be able to do this, there's judges, I've talked to 8 judges across the state of Kentucky, and every single one of them's in the same boat I am. 750,000 people's visited my page, and I know they had the exact same on their Facebook pages. There is no defense that has been set in principle, stone. It's never been tried yet. We're working on a moratorium as we speak right now, and my goal is to get all 5 counties in the 5 co-region to pass the same moratorium outside of East Park for the land that's remaining here. Now, as far as the investment in Eastern Kentucky goes and the assumptions of what Eastern Kentucky is, I can tell you I've talked to a lot of businesses, some of them not from this country, that has come over here that I've met with, that were beyond impressed with our people. Because what we have,
surprise them every time.
what we
but
have
they
here
want
that a lot of
one
places
thing.
don't is you have generational employees, right? You have people that grow up, that want to work where their daddy worked, because that's what you do, right? The problem is a lot of those places are gone.
Yeah.
You look at AK Steel, Armco, all of it all together. So finding replacements for that, it may not be the familiar face of what we're used to with industry, but it might be the look of the future. Now, can I sit here and tell you in 10 years they may not be gone? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in 10 years. I don't know. I just know that it was vitally important to the other judges and myself to be able to have a seat at the table to try and negotiate the best deal possible to where we knew what was going to happen to a certain point, instead of them just buying private land and then we all having the same meeting here together trying to figure it out. I can't answer what's going to happen in the future. I can tell you what I've seen up there. I can tell you that they don't have earplugs on site. I can tell you that they don't have, I've never got over decibel 55. I can tell you they got a closed loop system with no blowdowns. I can tell you the fans are running right beside us. You don't have to believe any of that. And that's back to the most beautiful part of the conversation that we're having right now, is we're all blessed where we live in a country where we're allowed to have these conversations, where we're allowed to have disagreements, because we all care about the same end result. We care about America first, right? That's what we care about. We care about the future. But a lot of countries don't even get to have this conversation. So we're blessed in this regard that we can do this, and I think it's very important. I can't, there's some questions that you asked that I can't answer. You know, East Park will be a great place, and Hunter Boyd back there can tell you when the meetings are. And do I think East Park needs to get a website? Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Huh?
The
Good. That would be,
third Monday of the month, is that when you have meetings? Okay. Thinks it's typically the third Monday.
I seen something today it was just a Facebook thing, so that you can take this for what it is. There's over 4,000 data centers in the United States. China has 400. And you want to know why? In China, you can't have one of these until you're approved. It may take you 2 years to even be approved to get a phone in China. In the United States, we all got them. That's why we have to have so many data centers.
I'm not sure. I would have to find out,
And I'm not sure that's, but that's, You know, these phones all run on data centers. Every one of these little apps is on a data center somewhere.
We're running a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
There've been some executive orders at the federal level that have passed or that have gone out recently, where the data centers. Oh, hey, sorry, I didn't know somebody was.
You're fine.
We'll talk about this
It
another
is-
time. Thank you for your time.
You are fine.
No, we were just chilling.
I would like to go to a Little League game here in a minute. It starts in about 30 minutes, so
I'll be quick.
I know you will.
Good evening, everyone. Sean Borst. So I like the idea of us moving towards a moratorium. I know all of us have been in communication here in the last month, and I understand a month is not a long, not a lot of time. But one thing I do have a question for, and I know this is probably in a Q&A session, but if we do not get agreement from the 5 counties on a moratorium, are we prepared to move forward as an individual county?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. So I know how hard it probably is to get all 5 counties from a legal standpoint to agree on one, moratorium or ban. But I just want to be sure that if we cannot get them in agreement, that Boyd County is prepared to move forward.
Now, I think you and I had this conversation
are.
as to why the importance.
No, I agree.
5
And
counties
it does
passing the
set
same, but they-
precedents. It sets precedents, and it sends a message to Frankfurt.
Yeah.
And it definitely sends a message to whatever judge is going to hear this, and there may never be a judge hear this. But I think when I first came up here, my main target is not necessarily industrial parkway, but as people get in economic hardships, land becomes available, they want to sell their farm, they want to sell their property for mega amounts of money, and then the next thing you know, these type of industries are popping up. And as I said, I'm not opposed to industry. Just be a good steward and be a good partner to your community. So in my emails, I've also discussed working with the KRC, and I know we've looked at that home rule ordinance. We've went through it several times. It's been drafted and sent back and forwards to the county. The moratorium will allow us to toss that around
Gives us time.
and explore it. I'm also hearing that the county, this is uncharted territory. I'm hearing that a lot, and I've heard that a lot in the past with issues that I've dealt with in the past. So I want to be very clear that it is uncharted territory, but the county does have authority, and that authority can be utilized under different KRSs, and it's just going to have to be used creatively. Can it be challenged? Yes. And Curtis knows this. Anything
All
can be challenged.
Absolutely. Everything can be.
But I would prefer my tax dollars be spent using CAECO and defending that challenge versus not putting in anything ordinance-wise that we don't have anything. So if we're going to get sued, if we're going to get litigated, my tax dollars pay for that, and I'm all for, and I would say our community before, spending that tax revenue to defend it.
Yeah.
So, my last thing, and I'll get out of here because I know Randy's
You're
got
fine.
to get.
You're fine.
So my last thing is since we're talking about uncharted territory and resources and kind of not having the necessary tools or the guidance, and I've hit this many times, and I can't stress this enough, the KRC and Mr. Tom Fitzgerald has been a godsend for the state, for various counties, and he is willingly open to work with the county and to have communication with the commissioners, the judge, the county attorney, and explore his home rule that he's drafted. He and I had many conversations about this, and I think it'll do us a lot of good service to explore that conversation with him. I mean, he's slowly retired and stepped down from the director of the KRC, but he's still spending about 30 hours in a legal standpoint working with the state legislators and stuff. So if he says that, hey, I'll spend the time for you, Sean, and I'll help you, we've got to use that, because when I first utilized his resources, it took us almost a year to even get a phone number to contact this gentleman. So now that we have that connection and that ability to contact him, we need to use those resources. And to Curtis and them, it's a valuable resource to have. So I would like to look at possibly, setting up a meeting at some point, a phone call. And, but yes, the moratorium, if we can't get all 5 counties on board, let's do it ourselves.
Which
And Greenup may have who knows what Greenup does, what Carter does. completely different than what Boyd County does. So
Greenup and Boyd are working.
Greenup's
hand.
with us.
Yep.
Greenup County's with us.
good. Carter County, I noticed on, I think, June 8th,
Don't know
the
what
fiscal
they're gonna
court
do.
moved to explore with CAECO the ability or the possible conversation of banning it. So just having some brief discussions, it sounds like Carter County is on board too, but it's herding cats, gentlemen. So,
Pushing a rope.
yep. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Community comment? Come on, you're fine. I've been talking about this for a month. I'm good.
No, sorry. So, as it stands right now, the Kentucky State Legislature has not passed consumer protections regarding the electricity. So, if we're dealing with noise and we're done with dealing with wire, what about the electricity? Because I'm reading the plants are getting old. They're going to be possibly decommissioned, or they have to be revitalized. I'm not sure how that works. What are we going to do with the amount of electricity they want to use and how it's going to affect local people on their electric bill? Because our electric bills are already insane.
Yeah, they are. They absolutely are.
So I don't know if, are you judge executives, like as a group from all the different counties, going to Frankfurt and, bugging the legislature to pass data center protections, to pass ratepayer protections? We kind of need some help.
I understand that. We've had many conversations about that. Not us, but on the state level. A lot of what you're asking there, I would defer to the state because I don't know exactly what they're working on. I don't know exactly what the state legislative committee or really however that process works. I don't know what they're working on in that regard. They may have something in the pipeline I don't know about.
Do you know, or do you have the ability to call a meeting, a public town hall with Kentucky Power and make them show up? Because the last meeting they hid in the back hallway and they wouldn't answer questions on the record.
I don't know. I mean, I think I could call one. I think they wanted to show up. I think they could.
I think
I
a
don't
lot
know
of
if I
people
got the
would
authority to do that or not. I don't know if I do. I mean, I
We can't
wouldn't
make them
mind
do
to.
anything.
I mean,
No more than we can
they
make
got
you do
listen,
something
bottom
you don't
line
wanna
is,
do.
you're right. They have questions that have not been answered. AEP, there are questions to AEP that have not been answered. 100%. Agree with that. So, to your point, yeah, I think those need to be answered.
But how do we get them to answer it? Suggestions? Help?
I don't know. Unless I get we go talk to the state rep, see if we could get some pressure from there. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, that's
Well, if you don't know, how are we supposed to get any answers?
I can get you because I can get there to get the answer. But I mean, I could lie to you. I'm not going to do that.
No.
I don't know the
I
answer.
mean, if you, being the judge executive of this county, cannot say, "Hey, you need to have a town hall meeting with the people of this
I can
county and
say
answer
whatever.
questions."
I can say whatever I want. I can order whatever I want. I can do whatever I want, whether they show up or not. I don't know. I mean, you're asking for a judge to issue it. A mandatory. I can't
Host
do
it.
that.
Host it. Is that a better word? Host.
We hosted, and I'll try not, to do it in the gym at the high school where you can actually hear it. But I mean, look, I don't know the answer to your question. I know that I can get in touch with state reps and state senators, and I'll call them as soon as we get out of this meeting and have a conversation with them about doing it. Do I think AEP needs to answer some questions? Yeah, AEP needs to. I think they get more pressure from your state reps and your state senators than they would from judges, not real judges. I don't know. I mean, I understand. I'll work on that.
I've got 60 seconds. I'm timing myself. So for town hall stuff, I think if we made a very public invitation for these different, like governing bodies, people that, write legislation, that we pay power bills to, and invite them to a very public meeting so that we can have some assurances and, give some constructive criticism on some of the bills that did not pass that could have protected consumers
Yeah, that would
and
be great.
counties this year. Because some of those are elected officials that, if they don't help their community, will be replaced, right? And then for one of the things that Tara Wolf kept saying at the last meeting was that our rates would not go up because of Tara Wolf. And they kept saying that the PSC controlled the rates. that is only one small portion, like not small, but it is only one portion of our electric bill. And you all can go to like your Kentucky Power bill, and it even shows you like a little pie chart of the other fees and costs. They don't control those. They control the actual like per kilowatt hour rate charge, which I think they state is about 15%. I think in May mine was 17
Yeah.
cents per. So don't let them fool you.
They don't.
They pick very specific language for a reason. So they're like, oh, your rates won't go up. And it's like, yeah, but there are other things that the electric company charges us on our bill that are,
Surcharges.
yeah,
That they're legally allowed to do, right?
right. And
Legally allowed, given the authority by who? Not your fiscal court.
right, right. So their word on that is not super encouraging.
There's a lot of what we're having a
Oh,
conversation
we're not
on
going to change
here
this, but we
that-
will change this.
that needs to be addressed at the state level. And I'd like the state representatives and state senators to have those conversations, right? Why did we not pass the bill in 26? Why did we pass an incentive package plan? Which I'm all for incentives. Whatever it takes, put people to work, bring jobs in, I'm all for them. We've used them here locally at our
What
level.
incentives are
can.
we getting as a county from, because the sale was between two private companies, IEP and TerraWolf, right? So we didn't own the property at that point, so we didn't make that like $6 million, correct?
We made, I don't know, what was the final sale value? Yeah, I mean, it's 6-7 million to East Park. Yeah, I mean, that sale had to transact.
I thought
IEP purchased it.
IEP
They did.
had,
IEP.
I thought that was like a company that owned it, that had purchased
No,
it previously.
IEP was the company, Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong, IEP is the company that purchased the property from East Park. So we're getting $6 or $7 million
From that purchase.
from that purchase.
And then they immediately sold it to TerraWolf?
That
Is that what
is
I'm
a
understanding?
private sale between two private parties. We got
Yeah.
$23,000 an acre for it, put $6 or $7 million in the bank for East Park, and that
When
money,
did the first sale happen?
that money can be, it's a question for East Park, I don't know. But I can tell you this, I can tell you that sale, that money,
Right.
East Park don't need $6 or $7 million to operate. East Park they can shift to 5 counties. They could give 5 counties $1 million and still have $2 million to operate. They could put $1 million in our bottom line right now.
I was trying to
They do
figure
that to
out-
Elliott County, and it's a game changer. They do that to Lawrence County, it's a game changer.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out, because at the very first TerraWolf meeting that we had, Bobby Hall kept talking about this, like, let's say $6 million for this property, but we weren't informed that it was owned by a private company in between East Park and TerraWolf. We thought it went directly from East Park to TerraWolf, that there was no middle ownership.
That's the East Park question. I mean, IEP's the one that purchased it from East Park, and then IEP
So they got
sold
money
it
from
to
the initial
TerraWolf.
sale.
Is that
And
right,
then-
Hunter?
Is there any benefit to the county from IEP selling it to TerraWolf?
Unless they sold it for a profit greater than what it was sold from East Park to the IEP, because
Then that would be what taxes?
the property tax bill is set on the sale price anyway. So if
Okay.
if IEP sold it to TerraWolf at a greater price than what they sold it to, from East Park to IEP, then yeah, I mean, the property value instantly went up right there in that transaction.
Okay.
Instantaneously.
So property taxes.
Yeah, because I mean,
Because like
anytime you
with the
buy a
tax
house,
incentive, that's the one bad thing. It's like there's different, like the state sales tax for all of their equipment, like you saw. They're not going to
that's
get
state. We're
charged
not even
state.
allowed to have sales tax. It's not in, they tell us that the Constitution doesn't allow them. They're allowed to have it. They can also put an earnings tax on casinos. We can't do that.
We've talked
You got
about
two
that.
options. You got property tax, you got occupation tax. There's a reason we got to get creative.
Yeah.
And net profit tax, I mean, how's that even work?
I don't know. I'm not
I
a
mean,
tax
call
man.
it for what it is, right? I mean, you can dive into that statement as much as you want, but it's interesting. It's interesting. I see a comment here, $1 million is nothing. $1 million is a lot of money at one point in time. So I disagree with that. I disagree with that statement. Do I tell you I have all the answers? I do not have all the answers.
Oh, I
Look,
don't either.
I don't know, okay? I do know this. I went to New York. I looked at this facility, and I feel 100 times better about the whole situation, the whole plant, the way that TerraWolf operates. I don't think they're going to shut their operation down when I show up. Not that important. I am not that important. They have a running data center that they're making money, and that data center We could sit here and have a normal conversation around the fans. You could have a normal conversation around anything in that facility.
Your all's influence is important, though. I mean, you can see that in your comments, that your community members, the people that elect you guys, are looking to you all for answers. And if you all are the ones that went to the facility, heard the fans,
I'm giving the
felt
answers
the
I
heat
can.
output. Yeah, right.
I'm providing
So-
you with the answers that I'm
I was
able to.
there.
And so, if Tara Wolf did change anything, because you were saying that you weren't important, you are. Your influence and the pushback from the people, that is important. And, that can influence the response from the community, too.
I don't
But
think
I'm going to
there's-
keep my promise, and I'm going to
I
quit
will
talking
say
so you can go to
this,
that little
I will
thing.
say this, I'm a masonry contractor by trade. I do block, brick, and stonework. I've worked inside steel mills, laying block. There's no comparison to the heat that's inside that steel mill to what's in this data center. No comparison. I once went through Armco when I was 18 years old at a job fair thing for the high school. And when I walked through that building, I told myself I will never work in this place because it's too nasty, too dirty. And I watched them with a shovel rubber tires into the oven, okay? At 18 years old, I watched them do that at Armco. This place is way cleaner than Armco, but it's not going to have 5,000 jobs like Armco once had. But still, I knew that I wasn't ever going to work in a steel mill when I done a tour through it because it was too dirty, too noisy, and way too hot.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Anybody else, community comment? Okay, next meeting, oh, wait, new business. I got anything? Commissioners, y'all got anything? Randy, you want to go to the ball game?
Yeah, I want to go to the ball game.
So, real
I got
quick,
an 8-year-old grandson that's having a blast. I want to go watch him.
I'm going to say right here, budget, request it, come get it. It's yours, it's people's money's in his budget. It's posted outside, we're going to get it posted online, get a copy of it. It's online already. Ask questions. Need to. You should. Very important. I've encouraged this for 8 years, and I'm not going to stop doing that. So get involved. Look through there. Any questions you have, come to a court meeting. We'll discuss it. No problem. All right. That's all I have in new business. Anybody else have anything?
By the way, the ball game I'm going to is an 8-year-old all-star team playing Ashland tonight in Grayson. If they win, they go to the state championship tournament. So it's awesome. Hurry up and get
Well,
out of here.
we get a motion to adjourn?
No moved.
All right.
Next meeting?
We'll send it out. We'll post it.